All right, so welcome back to the Blue Planet show here on the YouTube channel. Got Derek, Kevin, and Matt with me. Today we're going to talk about the Molokai to Oahu race. If you missed it, you should also check out the video about the 2 days before the race, which was the Maui to Molokai race and the Molokai Holokai race. But now we're going to check out the video from the M2O race. When we arrived on Maui, we loaded everything on a U-Haul. We did the Maui to Molokai race, then the Molokai to Holokai race. And then on the Sunday, the third day, was the Molokai to Oahu race. So, Derek, you've got some footage right at the start, right? You want to talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, some of the areas I just was wanting to get whoever was racing, there's everybody had questions about where the start is. So we actually didn't start at Kalua Koi where we did the previous years. We went up to Iliopoint, which is the north part of the island. So I just went flying around and I got some footage of everybody else, the sup guys waiting with their escort boat, and all of the wingers fortunately we didn't need any escort boats. We just had to have our safety equipment, which is a VHF radio and an EPIRB or a personal locator beacon. So we just flew around, got some pictures and videos of each winger and all the sup guys on their escort boats sitting around. It was a great day. I mean, the wind was strong in the beginning. Nice bumps on the outside of Iliopoint. And yeah, the start this year was up at Iliopoint instead of at Kalua Koi, which there was some bumps and strong wind.
Yeah, Matt, what did you think of the start?
Yeah, I thought the start was great. I liked where they put it up at the point. I didn't do the official race last year, but we started further down on the practice crossing, and it was nice to be up at the point where there was a lot of wind. I mean, I think it was probably a little windier than we did the practice crossing last year at the start, and yeah, it was a great start. It got a little lighter, which I'm sure we'll talk about, as we went. But for the very beginning of the race, I was plenty powered up.
Yeah, how did it go for you, Kevin?
Oh, my race was amazing. The beginning was really strong. So I was originally paired up with Pilot John, so we stick together. So no matter what, if we fall, we blow the whistle twice, and we get back up, we blow the whistle once. So as we were going down, Pilot John said, just leave me. I go, no, we're partners. We're supposed to stick together. So halfway through, we were at, basically we could see the island outside Port Log. And then he keeps saying, Kev, just leave me, please. Just go, just have fun, just leave. So at that point, he's like, I know where I am, So at that point, we're in the middle, and I say, okay, I'm gonna leave you. And yeah, so I left him and I came in. I feel really bad, but it was fun. I mean, I had fun and I stayed up on foil. I didn't fall towards the middle. And when we came back in, he said he fell 55 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I remember him saying that. Yeah, I remember him saying that. But he got up every time he fell, he got back up and kept going till he finished across that line,
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I also did it with a partner, and yeah, it was hard to stay together out there. I mean, it wasn't impossible, but that was definitely an added challenge staying with a partner. I mean, it made it fun in kind of a different way, but yeah, every time one person falls, the other person has to wait, so that adds time, and then every time one person falls, and the other person is, tacking and jiving and in big swell and stuff, so it just increases the chance of both people falling. So doing the the team approach is definitely an interesting challenge.
Yeah, and officially, Matt, you guys were the winners of the teams.
The
Yeah.
officially of the official unofficial teams. I don't know. Were we?
Yeah,
I think maybe. Yeah.
yeah. I got you guys coming in, and then Eli and Fuzzy, and then Kevin and Pilot John. Yeah. So you guys unofficial won the team competition this year.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, my buddy Reza from home that I did it with, we've been foiling together since we both learned, and I really wanted him to do these crossings. Like, I was really stoked to share this. And but he's never winged here, and he didn't know he didn't know where the finish was. So it's like pretty much had to stay together the whole race so that he would know which side of the island to hit. You know, was pretty funny.
Right. Yeah, that would be kind of weird if he shows up and then there's "Welcome to Waianae" sign, right? Yeah, it wouldn't be good.
Exactly.
So yeah, this is
But it worked out. Yeah, it worked out really well.
Yeah, awesome.
Just finished already. I guess Derek, you didn't film as much this time, but but you still pulled out your camera a bunch during the race, so that's pretty cool. And the wind got pretty light during the race, right? Like I ended up going really far south because I felt like there was a little bit more wind further south. I thought I saw more white caps, but it might have just been a mirage, you know. So, but I ended up going super far south. I think further than anyone else when I look at the tracker. But then when I got close to Diamond Head, I saw Derek on the inside, like by the lighthouse, flying, and I was like, "Oh, he's gonna get me!" So that and yeah, that was kind of cool because I didn't see anyone for a long time. I was like, "Oh, where is everybody?"
Yeah, so I didn't remember who had what wings or whatever, but you had the great line because you was down south and you was away from all the escort boats and everybody else. So you were able to stay on your track and zig and zag. I came in close to China Walls and then I was coming along that coast, our normal downwind run, and usually we just kind of fly right down the coast and then zigging and zagging and as needed, but this time when it was coming in, there was a bunch of escort boats, friends that were their friends were paddling and foiling, and all the boats and traffic were just like going through. And there's a couple areas where it got kind of light, and if you was to come off foil, you would have a hard time getting up. So like you would come in and like, okay, I gotta go this way and that way, and I see the bumps and I go, man, can't risk going through that. So you just gotta turn and go back off. And so you're like offline, Yeah, it was kind of frustrating, but I guess last year they complained about our escort boats, and I guess this year, it was just payback, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, most of the wingers didn't have escort boats, so it was kind of really nice actually that they didn't ask us. We didn't have to have escort boats. I mean, foiling and boats just doesn't go well together. Like even if the wake is like a half a mile in front of you, you still feel it when you run through their wake, right? Through your boat wake.
Yeah, I felt that on all the runs, but yeah, for like on the Maui to Molokai and on the Molokai to Oahu, I'd go through what was like a long gone boat wake. You could still feel the bubbles in the water like way after.
Yeah.
And I think we took this,
Yeah,
Reza and I took the southern route too, which was interesting. I kind of saw the same thing. Like I thought there was more wind kind of down south, and it was really interesting to watch the race on the website afterwards and see all of the dots, like kind of just a few of us go south and then a few go north, and then they all like reconverged kind of like 3/4 of the way across, which was really interesting to see.
Yeah, yeah. Derek sent me a screen recording of his track line, and then I did one of mine too, and then compared it and did like a close up of the finish and stuff. So I did some screen recording, so I'm going to show that right after this too. So definitely interesting to see kind of the different lines and how it looks like some people are way ahead, but then they're just on a different track, right? So, and then yeah, like Cynthia Brown was ahead of the other woman, but then I guess she went down and couldn't get going again right away. So stuff like that. I mean, you know.
It's
Yeah, it
vital,
was
yeah.
definitely light
Very vital.
light in the middle.
Yeah.
I think there was like a half hour where I thought, oh man, like I can't go down. I won't be able to get back up. But
yeah.
but then towards
Yeah,
the
it was
end it got better.
Yeah, sure.
definitely was one of those, like, if I fall here or if I get off foil, I'm gonna be pumping and hoping for the best, for I don't know how long. So yeah,
Yeah.
there was a few times where it got light in the middle, and I was actually going upwind back to Molokai to stay up, and then another gust would come or a bump, then I would ride that back to Oahu. But then, yeah, I don't know if everybody else did the same thing. There's a couple of times I had to go backwards to go forward, but
Yeah.
that's 100% worth versus coming off a foil, because if you come off a foil, you kind of sitting in stuck in water, in that deep blue
Yeah.
sea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
Yeah,
talked
there was
to
times.
Javier from Molokai. I mean, from Maui. He had that I think the 325 mic slab foil, which is tiny, and he's kind of a bigger guy too. And I guess he came off foil, and he said it took him almost an hour waiting for a gust to get back going again. So
Oh wow.
yeah, his time was pretty slow. But yeah,
Yeah.
here's the award ceremony afterwards. Alan
Right.
Cadid, Ken Winter did really well for the guys, and then Nani won the women's division by a hair, I guess. Anna had to jive to get around the boat or something. I heard pretty close.
Yeah, just a few
Yeah.
seconds, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it on video. I think, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, Cynthia told me um she fell and couldn't get up for 25 minutes, which was like the difference in between first and third. Oh, here's a tracking and stuff like that. So midway of this tracking, one of the escort boats that they were kind of just going zigzagging, following their racer, and they pushed me out of my line. I was like, oh man, so I didn't want to go through their wake, so I kind of was forced further up than what I wanted. But yeah, it all worked out. We finished.
You're fast. You're double our time, Derek.
Yeah. I mean, Derek was top 10, and it looked actually like you were quite a bit ahead of me for a while. Somehow, like for me, like this is my track, so you can see here I went way south. I just kept going south because I saw more wind, and then from there I pretty much took like a straight beeline to Diamond Head, and that was a super fun run for me because I was just kind of surfing the waves, like surfing bumps. Like 'cause
Yeah.
the bumps were moving really fast, so no way I could go faster than the bumps, but I was just riding the bumps and I had almost no pressure in my wing. And then this is getting close to Diamond Head. So, yeah, Cynthia Brown, you can see her kind of sitting in the water. And then Derek,
Right.
like you were kind of ahead of me, but like you said, then you had to zigzag out of the way of the boats and stuff. And somehow I was able to pass you there.
Yeah, right there, all the boats and the wake
I was
and
able to pass you.
yeah. All of those guys that came up on behind of us, their boats they were cheering them on and stuff like that. And you're like, oh man. So I was forced to go south, which is not progressing towards the finish line. So that was just one of those things that you should be faster than that, but it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
But that was fun. No, it was like, yeah, it was a great round.
Yep, another great race. Yeah, thanks for joining me and talking about it. Always cool to share. So maybe we can talk a little bit of about what your takeaways were. What did you learn from the race? Maybe Kevin, because it was your first time doing the race, right?
Oh yeah, for me, I would have took, if I'm doing it again, I would bring different foil and different wing. My mentality, I just want to finish, so I just bought my guarantee hand wing, 5 meter, and then I use my Go Foil 850, and then 17-inch tail, just to be sure to get across towards the end by Kaimana. And if I would do different, I would take your route, go south, actually come more south, and then take that line coming back down. I would have done that. And next year I'm gonna get bigger foil and bigger hand wing and smaller foil, definitely, and really be more serious about it than just to finish. So I'm gonna compete next year.
Yeah.
Nice.
What about you, Matt?
Yeah, for sure. I did the M2O crossing on a 5 meter, which seemed like a good idea at the start, but was probably not the best idea overall. So yeah, same learning. Like I'm still figuring it out. I'm kind of used to different winds at home in Northern California, and so it just I think here I just always need to go a size bigger on the wing and a size smaller on the foil. So same conditions. If I had to do it again, I'd do a 6 meter and a 600 or 540 foil. So maybe even bigger than a 6 meter. I don't know. I mean, it's just, like everybody kept telling me, oh, it's just downwind, use a big wing. And I'm like, yeah, but it's a lot to handle. But yeah, out in the middle there, I really needed it. So kind of same learning from the previous race. Yeah, I thought this, reading the water, kind of the southern route seemed good. So, I don't know if that ultimately is the right path for us or not, but it worked out. And then next year, yeah, no teams next year. I'm going for it. So solo. Now that Reza knows where the finish is.
Not gonna look
Same
around.
here.
Yeah. I will say, like, one of the most exciting things about that whole race was doing it unescorted too. Like, I just thought that was such an
Yes.
incredible feeling, to be out on the ocean, not have a boat following you, really just being kind of on your own. Like, we just don't get those kind of chances in life as much, to kind of be alone in a wild place like that. So that was just an incredible experience as well.
Yeah. When we went Maui to Molokai, like you can see the island, you can see Lanai, everything looks close. So we weren't being escorted on that race, but it felt comfortable. Like, oh, it's not too bad. There was things around, but on the Molokai to Oahu race, you barely can see the islands, and there were some points where the clouds block and you couldn't even see Oahu, and you're going, whew, well, the wind goes that way, so I'm just gonna follow the wind. And
Exactly.
it was just like, yeah, without being a boat, you just kind of trust your instincts. And then every now and then you lift up your wing and you go, hey, there it is, there's the island, and you just make your way towards it.
Yeah.
Granted, the wind, where the wind was blowing, and true, you guys hit it on the head. I mean, on the wind was fake. There's a lot of false wind out there. You would always see a little white cap here or further down or up north, and I always chased it. I was like, oh, there's some wind, and you come by, you like, is there grass on my foil or something? Because I can feel cool, but I'm not accelerating. But I think it was just that false wind. It was just coming over. There was wind blowing over the surface of the water, but it wasn't blowing up high where we had our hand wings.
Yeah, true.
Definitely.
Yeah, there was definitely moments where it was like, please don't come off foil, just keep going, keep going. And
Right.
it's like when there's these huge bumps too, like when you go on the back of a bump, like coming off and you don't have enough speed, and then till you get on the next one, and oh man, it's like sometimes it was pretty challenging. I think kind of in the trough, there's no wind, and there's no
Yeah.
the wave, and yeah, there's no pulling your wing, and you're trying to stay on flow. It was pretty tricky.
And conflicting wave trains too. I'm sure you guys experienced that where you're like, oh, I'm on this bump. Oh, it's going towards another bump. Like, what should I do when they meet? You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
really
And also
interesting.
seeing the island, like it was comfort zone to see actually Oahu. But when I saw it, it actually took a long time to actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's there. It's like, why? It's like you're not moving. It's just like you feel like you're moving so slow. Like I know I'm going fast, but it just felt so slow getting there. And once I get to outside Pollock, I was like, okay, I'm in the home zone. I know, just don't fall, just make it. And I didn't have water with me. I didn't have a backpack with water. I had water in a bottle. So basically, I wasn't able to drink it until I crossed the finish line. Then I opened a bottle. I just drinking that water, chugging it. And yeah. Actually, I fell off oil right at the orange buoy, and then somebody yelling, "Hey, you're not crossed the finish line yet." So I'm like, "What?" So I put my head down. I start kicking and paddling until I put my face down until they honked the horn at me, and they're like on the megaphone, "Yeah, you passed the line," So
Nice.
and it was a nice
you?
jet ski ride coming in.
Oh yeah. Oh,
That was the
definitely.
best.
Definitely. I think
What was
you're next year, Kevin, you need to master riding, racing, and drinking water with the water bottle at the same time, hooked in.
Or you can get one of these.
I need that. Yes,
Oh,
I need to get that.
Yeah. Or get what they are trying to design for these kind of races.
Hey, Rob, you said you and Derek took different routes or routes, but what was the mileage difference? Do you know?
I think my mileage was pretty long. I compared it to a couple other people, and I think I took a little bit longer route, but I'm not sure. Like Derek, do you know how much miles we did total? I think I can look it up on my Garmin.
I think it was on the tracking with like
I
38 or
compared it to
something.
Felipe's line, and his was a little bit shorter, but I guess it just depends on your angle that you have towards the wind. I mean,
Yeah.
because basically the way I was thinking, even if I go super far south, you have to zigzag anyway, so it doesn't like when you're doing it on a regular stand-up paddleboard, you can go straight line A to B, but on a wing you can't really do that anyway. So it shouldn't really matter if you do one really long tack downwind and then really back. If you go super far south, as long as you're not, I don't know. To me, I figure it doesn't make a difference, but maybe it did. I don't know. I'm not sure.
That's what I thought too, because I thought the less we jibe, the better, just because in the light air, it's like every time you jibe in those confused seas, you're kind of risking falling. So just doing longer tacks, and then I figure if you stretch out the same line of short jibes, it's gonna be the same distance. But yeah, I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can see this, but my mileage was 48.01 miles. So that's pretty long ride.
Oh wow. 48 miles.
48
Wow.
Yeah.
In 2 hours? What was your finish time? 2 hours.
My official time was 2:18.
Oh, nice.
So
Awesome. Yeah, how was the guy that took first, huh? What did he do it under 2 hours?
From New Zealand did it in 1:48, which is just
Wow.
Yeah, like the second fastest time was Bobo Gallagher, who did it in 2:02, So that's like
Hmm.
14 minutes behind Aiden. So, and
Wow.
that's a huge difference at that kind of, he was miles ahead, kinda.
Right. Yeah. Well, there you go, Matt. That's your goal next year. Under 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Right.
I'm going for it.
300 mic slab foil and a 7
Yeah,
meter.
better get my
Oh,
order
there
in
you go.
now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And you make sure you
Derek,
get
what are your
45-inch
takeaways?
mask.
Right.
Derek, what would you do different next year, or what was your takeaway?
I don't know. I guess what ultimately would help me and a bunch of us guys, us regular footers, is learning how to switch stance. So
Mm,
we can lean on it a little bit more, but um we always in the surf, so we just never switch stance. But I would just go maybe go with a bigger hand wings and go with a foil that I'm comfortable with. The day of the race or the day before, Alex said, "Hey, try this wing. This one is good. This is a new tail and a new front wing." And I said, "Yeah, might as well. That's the latest." So I tried it, and I don't know. It was fast, but it wasn't something I was used to. So yeah, probably just use whatever you're practicing with up to the race day. Just go with that, and maybe a bigger hand wing.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good point too. Like it really does favor goofy footers, the races. Like I'm goofy foot, so it was easy. But even switching, like I got tired even just riding goofy foot through in the middle. So I switched, which I do normally anyway. But just to like, because you guys probably felt it, like one foot was in one leg's doing a lot more work, So I switched a couple times in the middle, trying to ride on my
Yeah,
weak side. It is really hard to surf on your weak side. Going upwind is easy, but
yeah.
going downwind was really tricky. Like it took a ton of focus. So um, I don't know if it's worth switching downwind, to be honest, but maybe that's just
Yeah, I
me.
mean, and I talked to a few regular footers too that said that even though they can switch their feet, they feel like they're faster in, in the whatever you want to call it, their kind of the twisted stance because they got, the
Yeah.
regular forward, then they can go faster because they have better control, I guess, going downwind. So, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it would definitely
Right. Yeah.
to be able to switch feet just to not get as exhausted. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe alleviate some of that pressure for a little bit, and then like once you get to that nice cooking area, you can just go ahead with your normal stance and power up and try to get as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Did Did you guys like when I approached Diamond at kind of from the outside? I guess maybe because I was on the real southerly angle too, but it was kind of cool because it looked different. Because we always do the Hawaii Kai run where you kind of come from the Hawaii Kai side, but when you come out from further out, the Diamond Head looks different. It's like the whole view was kind of cool. It's just, and then the bumps were bigger, and yeah, so that was kind of a cool experience for me to come in from a different angle to Hawaii Kai, like from way outside, or outside, way outside Port Lock was cool to pass too.
Yeah, down
Yeah.
south. Yeah, you're looking at the whole scenery.
Yeah, looks different from that angle. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you guys
Exactly.
want to share or talk about?
I guess, I would say maybe, um, just go with your instincts and what you had, because during the race, like we was going, and I was like, man, I don't see anybody. I don't even know where everybody's at. So, in the meantime, my phone and my pocket were like making noises. I think the alarm went off once, so I had to stop and turn it off. And then one time I pulled it out as we were going. I seen a message from some of our friends, Eddie, Mario, and they were texting, and I look at that. They said, oh, they showed a tracking of everybody else, like where Kevin was, Matt, where Robert, you know, and then they messaged me and they said, "Hey Derek, you're way north. What are you doing up there?" And I looked at it, I was like, "What?" I was like, "What the heck?" Okay, yeah, they told me drop down, drop down. I go, "Oh, shocked." Okay, so took some pictures, some videos of the fish, and then I started making my way down. But actually should have, you know. And then I was texting them, "Hey, how's the wind at Diamond Head?" They go, "Oh, the wind is solid, strong. Yeah, you can stay close and blah 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 and whatever else." So, um, yeah, just reading them at the same time. But I should have just stuck to my instincts and what I wanted and went straight, you know, because we got to Mauna Loa Bay, and when I got over there, the guys on that was escorting, they was like, "Hey, the wind is light, stay outside." I was like, "Shit, what now?" Now I got to go all the way back outside, and you know, and then try to avoid the boats and all of that. So yeah, I think you just gotta get a game plan and try to stick with it. But you know, just be ready for any kind of variables. But a lot of times that influence from others, like in your head and going, "Hey, do this, do that." You just should go with what you know and what works for you every day that you've been practicing. You know.
Yeah, and probably looking at your phone and texting while you're winging is probably not a good idea either.
Yeah.
or at least really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, fortunately, I never fall down and all that, but I mean, it was good to see, you know, like okay, how's the wind? Like I was able to at one point check the weather, you know, the iWindsurf app and go, "Oh, we got wind in Oahu. Okay, here's your track," you know, boom, boom, and started going. But once we got close, just everything, just went against everything that you know, like we practiced. So yeah, definitely stick with your guns, stick with what you know, and go for it. You know, next year, everybody for sure go for it.
Yeah, I wonder. I was just thinking it might be kind of cool to have someone like a coach or someone that's like land based and can check the tracks and whatever, check the wind and whatever, and give you like talk to you over some headphones or whatever, give you some coaching while you're waiting. That might be cool. I don't know. That would be pretty high level, but yeah.
Yeah, a lot of guys use their phone, their wireless waterproof earphones, and they play music and they sync to their phone. So I think that could be one of those things. You know, it's like, hey, you're in six, but you're north. You got a better line. Blah blah blah. You know, they could definitely could use that. I don't know if you would call it cheating or using technology as your to your benefit, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what everybody does in pro sports, right? They talk to their coaches.
Yes.
Coaches
Yeah.
give pointers along the way. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens as it becomes more professional.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially
for
if
sure.
they got money and stuff. Yeah. And um, I didn't know there was categories. I thought it was just winner take all. You know, like the three fastest guys. But when we went to the award ceremony, there was like age groups and all kinds of stuff. So that was pretty cool. I'm glad they included that.
Yes, but whoever win the who's 49 years old won that category. Next year they're gonna be in the 50-year-old category. That's
Oh
gonna be
yeah,
my
that's right.
category. I have a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they also had that combined rating for the first time, the Koa Kai Triple Crown. So that was the Palimua, the Maui to Molokai, and then the Molokai to Oahu was like a combined rating, whoever had the fastest time in all three races. So that's pretty cool too. That's like another challenge to do all three races, right?
Yeah, that was cool too.
Yes, so I'm gonna do my best in every single race because everything counts.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So cruise this
Exactly.
year and race next year.
100%.
Learn. This is a learning year. This is a learning year for everybody, you know.
Yep.
And Matt, Reza said he's coming back next year as well.
Yeah, he said.
Okay, nice. That's
Gotta
good
get
to
him
get
over
more
here.
participants.
Get the taste of this.
Yeah.
You're gonna every year. It's just so amazing. Just everything was so good. So much fun.
Yeah.
So
How can you not go back?
I guess one thing we should mention is that they limit the amount of spots that are available. So if anyone's interested in entering, you have to kind of enter really early, right? Like I think
Yeah.
April 1st. April 1st.
Within the first day, right? Like all 100 spots they had were gone already. The first day.
Yeah, that's true. I registered. I was waiting. I registered as like less in the first 5 minutes, and then I called Reza at work and I said, hey, you got to get on your computer right now. And so we both got registered like, yeah, as soon as it opened. And I think in a few hours it was sold out. The
Yes, it was
M2O.
so
So maybe we
Yeah.
shouldn't on YouTube. We should just say, don't do it. This race sucks.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think lucky for all of us, you get priority if you already did it. So,
Right.
Hopefully.
When I mean, we all got our
hopefully.
e-perbs and our radios. We already got everything we need for the race. So like next year, it's going to be cheaper because we don't have to buy all the
Exactly.
safety requirements. We got it. So
I want to.
yes, yeah, definitely. But
would-
make sure you tether.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tell him what Pilot John did with this brand new Garmin Instinct. Or no, he lost the EPIRB. He rented an EPIRB and lost it the first day.
Yes.
It's in the ocean somewhere, floating.
Yeah. So always tether all your electronics to you, double tethered to something that's not going to get loose.
It was
Yeah,
talking
good
about
tip.
it during breakfast, and I switched it my my tether to my VHF radio. So I was doing that right there. I was having our breakfast, remember, and that was good. But he should have done that. And he was just jokingly, "Oh, you have dental floss to hook it up," but nobody had dental floss. Otherwise, he would have still have it.
Yeah, and he had it like in a zippered case that was like attached to his backpack. But then I guess when he crashed, the zipper came open or something, right? Right? Is that what happened?
Yes. But you still could like tether it like a dental floss into it like a leash.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he didn't have it. So we talked about it, doing that. Was jokingly saying that he should have done that. And I did mine, and he didn't do his, and he lost it.
Yeah. But then he called his wife or girlfriend, and she had to get one from West Marine, take it to the airport, ship it to Molokai, so that arrived the next
Yes.
for the race in time for the race.
Yes.
That was a pretty good effort of her to do that.
Yeah, definitely. Save his race. Saved his race.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was awesome. What about you, Rob? Any changes for next year or any equipment things? You know what? Somebody mentioned, hey Robert, or hey, Robert didn't use his own wing. Why was that? Can you give us any insights on why you chose another wing? I know you was going to use the 7-meter Blue Planet, right?
Yeah, I was going to use a 7-meter, but then the strut ripped on the day before. So I had another backup wing was my Ozone Fusion, which is actually a really fast wing. It's like that double profile wing. But I think for the downwind race and the lighter wind, I think my Blue Planet wing would have been better. It just has a little bit more low end power, a little bit more oomph. But that Ozone wing is really nice for, I think, for course racing, like where you have to go upwind, because it has less drag. It's really smooth and fast, especially going upwind. For going downwind, I think it's not as much of an advantage, but I don't know. I mean, to me, I think it's mostly about the foil, really, where the speed comes from. I mean, the wing provides the power, but the foil is what goes fast. And just seeing like Alan Cadiz and Ken Winner, they were on those Mike Slab 325s, and they would just kind of walk away from me really quickly, you know. So to me, that's kind of my thing is like, okay, I gotta order another foil, I guess, if I want to compete with those guys. You know? So gotta get out the credit card again.
Yeah, we better get our
But
orders in now.
you know, like in the Maui to Molokai race, it actually ended up being good that it didn't have a small foil, you know. So I think on the 325, I would have struggled to get to the finish line, you know, without coming off foil. So you know,
Right.
it's always a trade off.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, that's good. But so you would an 8 meter have been too much, or maybe that might have been with a 300 foil? Would that have been kind of a great recipe for success?
Well, I mean, Derek, you know, like I tried a few 8 meter wings, like I did a couple
Yeah.
different designs and stuff, and at some point it seems like there's kind of a point of diminishing returns where the extra drag from the bigger wing,
Mm-hmm.
also the if it has a wider wingspan, it can actually make it harder to take off with the bigger wing, you know. So I don't know, like once you get over 7 meters, I don't know if it really like helps that much to go much bigger than that. It seems like 7 meters for me is like a good size, but once I go bigger than that, it starts to be kind of too big, you know. I don't know, but maybe it's just that I haven't found the right design yet. I think Alex
Yeah.
Aguero in the M2M, he was on a really big wing too. I think a 7.5 or something like that, or was it an 8 meter? Do you know, Derek?
I think he had a 7.5 for the M2M and the Kamalo run,
And
which is
he was
huge.
kind of
It was,
he
yeah,
was kind of struggling with it. He told me afterwards, like, yeah, it was kind of too big. So, but I don't know. That was a super windy day too. Like, so in the channel it was much lighter. So then the bigger wing might have helped there.
mm, right, right. Yeah, definitely. When I went in and I grabbed Eli's 7 meter, it didn't feel that the tips were always touching. I guess it depends on your height, you know, like taller person. Like for you, the 7 meter would be perfect, but for shorter people, like it was always touching the water. Oh my gosh, what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, like, and that's the thing. Like, if you have your wing at an angle, and you can't really power up, so like you really want to get the wing more vertical. But yeah, if the water level, if it touches the water, you can't bring it down as much. So that's the thing. If the wing
Yeah,
is too big and the wingspan is too wide, you can't create as much power. I feel like sometimes I can actually create more power with a slightly smaller wing because I can bring it lower to the water and kind of pump myself up. And I know, I mean, you, Derek, like I've seen you use a 4 meter wing and almost I mean, in super light wind where I'm using a 7 meter and you're still able to pump up on foil. So, um, yeah, some of it is skill, I guess. But I guess for going downwind, you do need the pressure. And the more you go downwind, the less wind you have in your wing, right? So, kind of a different game for sure.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Oh, Matt, did you use a different wing, or you had the 5, or you had the 7 meter? So
No, I had
fun.
I think I had a 5 and Reza had a 5.7, and then at one point for the Maui to Molokai, we actually borrowed a 6 meter from Felipe because it was too light. We thought, and so I used the 5.7 for that, and he used Felipe's 6 meter, which was good. And then, but like kind of to Rob's point on the Kamalo run the next day, I was on a 5, and I felt way more efficient on that because it's easier for me because I'm not tall, to
Yeah,
trim a smaller wing, you know, and just like make a lot of speed. But then, yeah, there's a point where, you know, I probably should have been on a 5.7, the 5.7 for the M2O, or probably a 6. But then because I'm not tall, it's kind of diminishing returns, you know, like anything bigger than a
Yeah.
6, I trip over it. So
Yeah,
you know,
You got
hit
wind
the tips a lot.
cheating out the bottom.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I think for next year I'm going to practice a lot more of the 6 meter, you know, so that if I end up using a 6, then I'll be better at it. But I don't think I can go bigger than that without basically falling over it, you know, because I hit the tips and then I fall. So 6 is kind of my maximum.
Right.
What's
And
what I
practice
find
practice
amazing-
with what you're gonna use.
Sorry, go ahead, Derek.
No, just practice what you're gonna use. Or
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up, Derek. But yeah, what I was gonna say, what I find amazing is that when it's windy and you got a lot of speed, it's amazing that you can be fully sheeted in while you're going almost straight downwind. So it's like the parent wind is coming from, even though you're going straight downwind, the parent wind is kind of coming towards you. So you can totally sheet in. Sometimes it's kind of weird because it feels like you're riding kind of like with a clue towards the wind, right? The back of the wing is pointing almost straight into the wind, but somehow the wind is still, you still got pressure in the wing. So, and that's, I think, the most efficient if you can keep the wing powered up but go almost straight downwind. You know, that's that's the ultimate goal, right? To go at a really steep,
Yeah,
but still be powered up. You know, so and that's
that's
where
kind of, yeah, that's how the Kamalo run was for me. I just felt like I could really sheet in and just go faster and faster and faster, which was super fun. You know, that was a good feeling.
Yeah. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention was, especially I noticed in the Kamalo run, the bumps were not super fast. So you, like on a wing board, you can actually pass the bumps, and that, you know, to go really fast, you basically have to go faster than the bumps. And what I kind of learned just doing the runs was that you don't want to get on the steep parts of the bump. Like you don't want to go down the straight, this steep part of the bump, because then you can either go too fast and overfoil, or you kind of hit the trough and then get into the steep bump in front of it. So it's kind of more like angling on the steep parts and then trying to find spots where it's kind of a little bit more flatter, or there's like kind of a bump between the bumps that you can, it's almost like a bridge. You can take a bridge from one bump to the next bump, stuff like that. So you kind of, it was really focusing on the water surface and always adjusting the course to kind of try to go as fast as I can without, you know, overfoiling or, you know, basically not going too fast, but at the same time keeping up the speed and trying to kind of overtake the bumps, right? So it's a cool game. It takes a lot of, it's like really fast. It's like probably like car racing or something like that. It feels like.
Yeah. Tons of concentration. That's why that race was so fun, because it was so short, you know. I don't know if I could concentrate that hard for like 2 hours.
yeah, definitely.
Get
Yeah, I mean,
tired.
that's really one of the biggest challenges, I think, of the Molokai to Oahu race, because it's like, so yeah, for 2 hours to have that level of concentration and go at that full max out speed is almost impossible. Like sometimes you just have to kind of slow down a little bit, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But I guess that's what it takes to win it. Like Aiden was probably dialed in the whole time, going as hard as he could, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, cool. I hope everyone enjoyed this little voiceover for our video. I know we kind of went rambling on a little bit, but I'm sure some people are still listening. So thanks for sticking around.
Right.
And yeah.
Yeah. Mahalo. Mahalo to the organizers. Mahalo to everybody else. Mahalo to Eli. Everybody, all you guys for being part of our great team and making it happen.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks for including us. That was awesome.
Yes, thanks, Eli. Appreciate you. Make sure
Yeah,
I'll be
next
back.
year it's on.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Eli. You're the man. He's gonna let me stay at his condo again this weekend for the on Sunday, I'm doing the same race again on a stand-up paddleboard at like a third of the speed. So, Kevin, how you were saying it takes forever to get closer to Oahu. Imagine going like a third of the speed that we're going when we're foiling. So it feels like you're stuck in quicksand sometimes, like you're not moving. So, but it's a mental game too, just kind of push through it. So
Yeah. Good luck and have fun on your
good luck,
journey,
Rob.
Rob.
Yeah, Rob. We'll see you at the finish line.
all right.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Thanks guys. Have a good night. Aloha.
Okay,
Good night.
cool. Check in.
Aloha.
Thanks.